Yeah, I think, look, corporate governance is crucial for us as an investment firm. We invest in companies around the region, a lot in Vietnam, of course, and every time we invest, we look at the corporate governance of that company because that is how the company is controlled. That's how the company is, the strategic direction of the company is dictated by the governance of that organization. So it helps both manage risk for us as an investor, but also helps create value as an investor. We've done studies of our own investment portfolio, looking back at how companies with good governance compared with companies with not so good governance, and the return on equity was significantly higher, better credit rating, better development impact, better environment and social practices for companies that had good governance. So for us, it's very much part of our business case as part of our investment.
So the second question is like, can you give some or like your advice or like your like experience, so to have like Vietnamese company have like a good and like more effective like corporate governance?
Yeah, I think every company's different, but I think we break down governance into different parts. One is looking at the board of directors itself, looking at how the board is structured, who's sitting on the board, are they the right skill sets for the company given the strategy, the future strategy of the company. How often does the board meet, what role does it play, all about how the board functions first of all. But then look below the board level, look at the risk management and control systems and also like internal audit compliance. Those are really important functions because that's how the money is controlled, that's how the business is controlled and the risk is managed. So those functions are crucial to look at. And then disclosure practices of companies, which is about transparency. If you're trying to attract investors, if you're a listed company on the market, even just looking for business partners, if you have good disclosures, good transparency, that helps a lot with your business. And then there's other aspects too, like shareholder rights, stakeholder relations. But I would start and break down, if you're a company in Vietnam, break down your company into those parts and just look and see are there areas that we can improve upon.
And so in Vietnam, like we have the law that like in the like the board of director, like we have to like we have to have like 3 or 5 people like independent member. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the law is 30% independent. But yeah, there's independence requirements for listed companies, and that's what you see in almost every jurisdiction around the world for listed companies. I think the role of independent directors is crucial, right? And what they bring to a board of directors is a level of objectivity. They can bring certain skill sets that might be missing from the board. They can make sure that minority investors, like us, we are always a minority investor when we invest equity, or other minority investors, that their interests are being looked after on the board of directors, and they can just offer sort of a independent voice on the board. So I think the idea about independent directors, the principle behind them is an extremely valid one and important for Vietnam. But I think what I would just say for companies, when you're looking for independent directors, make sure you find individuals that have the right skill sets. Don't just find a person that's independent, put them on their board only because they're independent. Make sure they're the right fit for your company as well.
Like so how we can do that? Like I mean like how we can like make sure that that member is like really independent, is not like have anything related with the value of the company or like something
Yeah.
like side company.
There's different criteria you can use to test independence, like making sure they don't have any business contacts with the company, close relations with any of the directors or significant shareholders, prior relationships. There's different tests you can do to confirm independence, but really it comes down to behavior. And I think that's where things like board evaluations are a good tool for boards to self-evaluate on an annual basis, and then the feedback can be given on whether they think independent members and other members too are really acting objectively in the interest of all the shareholders. That can be an effective tool. I would also just point out, I mean, the Vietnam Institute of Directors, this event here we're at, you know, one of the things that this institute is doing, it's going to build a registry of potential directors that have been certified by the institute through training. So as companies are looking for potential independent directors to sit on their boards, they can contact the institute and find some well-qualified individuals.
So that is my last question.
Okay,
So much
thank
for your
you.
time
Come on.
today.